Hello and welcome to this week's show with me, Pete Tong, in temperatures so cold that our cameraman's frozen. So there's no moving camera this week. Look, it just doesn't move. See? Coming up this week, we squeeze the creative juices from Franz Ferdinand, Mickey Moonlight, Rodenko. I introduce you to a band called French Miami. Luke Walker pops in for a chat, and we'll have the results of this week's Bedroom Bedlam chart. First up this week's video, I'll take a deep breath to introduce this. A lot of egos on here. David Guetta, Chris Willis, Steve Angello, and Sebastian Ingrosso, but they all got on and they made Every Time We Touch. I'll throw out the cameraman while you're watching it.
Every time we touch, yeah, all the things I can't express fill me with such happiness. Every time we touch, all the chains that had me bound and broken crumbling to the ground. Every time we touch, something takes over me. Every time we touch.
Every Time We Touch from David Guetta and Steve Angello and Sebastian Ingrosso and Chris Willis, their brand new single. And this is number 3 on this week's Bedroom Bedlam chart. This is DJ Moonstone from Portland, Maine in the USA, and his track is called Captain. Number 3 on this week's Bedroom Bedlam chart. Right now to move to this week's confessional in the interrogation chair is a Mr. Luke Walker.
I was always really musically fanatical. I played the piano when I was a kid, and so I always knew I'd want to create some of my own music as I grow older. I was fortunate enough to have an old Amiga 500 lying around that happened to have the most basic piece of production software ever that I started kicking around on when I was around about 15. Then as soon as I started working, I grabbed a PC, started making tracks, and forwarded them on to Greg Churchill, who's the main man in New Zealand. He encouraged me a lot, supported me, and then eventually when they were decent enough, passed them on to Underwater, who he was working with at the time, and they signed my first record, Alias. Since then I've been working with Gung Ho Recordings, with Matt Stewart, and I've done 3 EPs and my 4th just came out. I've been travelling through Asia for most of the year, and I put on a party in Japan that was completely crazy. The Japanese are fanatical about their techno. Basically it was in a northern Japanese town called Niseko, a ski town, and it was just the most amazing energy that night. Sweat was dripping off the walls and it was negative 10 degrees outside. And it was quite amazing because it was a mix of Australians and Japanese. The Aussies were massively into the electro stuff and the Japanese were hugely into the techno. But overall it was just an amazing night, and the energy there was awesome. And that's what it's all about for me, is just big fun parties.
More confessionals from Luke Walker in a few moments. Meanwhile, enjoy this very hot remix on the new Franz Ferdinand single. It's called Ulysses, and it has been remixed by the one and only Mickey Moonlight.
Let's get high. Come on. High.
I do like a bit of Franz Ferdinand. That is Ulysses, the Mickey Moonlight remix, and this is number 2 on this week's Bedroom Bedlam chart. This is Andrew Shatney, who you may remember has graced this chart before. He only started producing in 2007. His track is called the USSR. Number 2 on this week's Bedroom Bedlam chart. Now, if you want that residency on the Space Terrace this summer, you better get cracking in terms of the music making department. So get making them and send me the links to the address on the screen now, and you could be winning Bedroom Bedlam, and you could be finding yourself alongside Paul Wolford on the Space Terrace this summer. Right now, I want to introduce you to a band from San Francisco who Rolling Stone described as psychopaths, crafting skull-collapsing post-punk with wiry guitars, twitching over steady, chugging rhythms. Okay then, this is French Miami, and their track is called Science Fiction. Science Fiction there from French Miami. Did it fulfill your Rolling Stone expectations? Only you can decide that. Right, this is exceedingly hot. It's brand new from Rudenko. It's called Everybody.
Everybody.
Get freaky. Everybody's doing it.
Odds-on favourite to be the next major chart topper from the world of dance, that is Everybody from Rudenko. And here is Mr. Luke Walker to complete his confession.
Latest release, Find Your Way. EP, which is, came out in Beatport in late December. Basically, it's a 2-tracker with a couple of remixes, one from Greg Churchill, one from Tim Richards. The title track, Find Your Way, is quite a lot more melodic and a bit more spacey than my earlier stuff, but it's definitely still very tough and very dance floor orientated. I don't want to say my sound is maturing and sound like a dick, but I guess you could say that. B-side, Love Not Lost, is more of a straight up electro track, more rocky, but it's still got a bit of a euphoric breakdown in the middle and it's quite melodic still. So yeah, it's been working well. Both have been working well for me on the dance floor and had lots of good feedback, so go out there and check them out. I'm heading home in February, back for 6 weeks, putting on a few gigs there. First is on February the 6th in Queenstown at Debajo, the bastion of house music in Queenstown. Then back to my old favourite, Ink Bar, on the 27th of February on K Road, Auckland, for another connected party. I'm also going to be locking myself away in the studio and trying to make some hot new tunes if possible. And when I return to London, I'll be putting on a new party here. So if you want to check out any details, just go to MySpace, which should be listed down here, and you can see all the info there.
Many thanks to Luke. Right, time to find out who's #1 on this week's Bedroom Bedlam chart. This is Julian Scalzo. He said his musical career started at the age of 6 when he learnt to play the piano, and his track is rightfully called then The Piano Story. Congratulations to this week's winner. Head over to PeteTong.tv to hear it in full. Also to find out details of how to get PeteTong.tv on your mobile and a chance to win the brand new Mr. Wazzo album. Whilst you're there, take a look at the exclusive section of the site. There's a rather tasty mixtape on there from Ridney for your listening pleasure. And click on the VIP invites link to get an exclusive invitation to join the new social network Blinko. While you're there. You'll also find my own channel on Blinko where you can get even more news, announcements and giveaways about the world of dance and electronica. Right, that's all we've got time for this week. I'll be back in 7 days' time to do it all again with more hot content. Meanwhile, from me, Pete Tong, get your coat on. See ya.